What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Celebrate Herself podcast. As always, don't forget to screenshot this or take a cute little aesthetic boomerang, post it on your story, tweet it to me, and I will repost, retweet. I love seeing who listens, and honestly means a lot. Y'all really came through this week. There was a few really cute aesthetic boomerangs specifically. So shout out to y'all. You know we love the vibes. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I kind of feel like life would be pointless without IG stories. That's just me, but let me know if you can relate. We honestly have quite a few random little things to talk about, so I'm excited. I want to start by saying that it is International Women's Day, the day that I'm recording this, so shout out to all the women out there. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this, because I was looking, at the history of it, and I was like, maybe I could, talk about this, but TBH, I couldn't really find anything like that. I don't know. Let's talk about this. I don't know. Basically, send a woman. If you are not a woman, send a woman in your life $500. If you're a cishet male, send a woman $500 right now. At least $50. And then I was looking up quotes. And we're not going to have a read every quote on this list. I was just looking at different articles, seeing if I could talk about something. But this quote by G.D. Anderson is, "Feminism isn't about making women strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives that strength." And I thought that really hit. I never really heard it phrased like that before. I've never heard this quote. So I thought that was a bomb way to, describe it. And it kind of reminded me of what I think about sometimes. Not even in regards to feminism, but I guess more generally speaking, just, in life and almost finding yourself. It's not about, adding layers, or in this case, making women stronger. It's about getting to the core of it, which is, either the core of who you are, or, the core of our strength, as women, and getting to that and taking layers away to get to what it actually is. So I was like, damn, okay. So shout out to all the women out there. Well, I did want to say that I had a $30 grocery haul this morning, and I'm just so happy about it. I went to the grocery outlet bargain market for the first time in so many months. If you don't know what that is, I think they have them all over the US. I remember they had one in my hometown. And it's always just so fun to go there because it's a discounted grocery store basically. So they'll have they never really have the same stuff. They just always have different stuff. And you can sometimes find crazy deals. Today they had all these Impossible burgers, the 2-packs, and it was two 2-packs for $5. So I got one and it was $2.50. They just have crazy deals on stuff sometimes. Or one time they had a bunch of Oatly oat milk that was all 50 cents each. So I love going there. It's a little far from me, so it's kind of an effort to go there. It usually is worth it because I find so many deals. But sometimes it's just oh, do I really want to go all the way there? Anyway, I got 2 bottles of wine that were okay, obviously, I think they were originally $15. So kind of whatever. It's okay. At least it wasn't a cheap wine. I just feel really cheap wine, a lot of the times it's hella sweet, and then sometimes it's just gives me a headache immediately. So, I feel if it's in a $15 above range, it's usually okay. I mean, it depends. I don't know. But I got 2 wines, a fucking bunch of chicken breasts, 10 pounds of rice, fruit, a vegan ice cream. What else did I get? Basically a bunch of stuff. It wasn't a huge haul, but it was enough for me to be damn, okay. So now I just want to go to Whole Foods and get they didn't have any oat milk, which is what I need. I just ran out and using it in my coffee. But I just love a deal. It's literally a treasure hunt every time you go there. So if you have one, you should definitely check it out if you never have. And I know some of y'all relate because I've talked about them before in vlogs. But I just love a deal. Oh my God. It's what you want it to be going to the grocery store. Anyway, really set my week off for success, I would have to say. Also, huge announcement, my merch is now available, teespring.com/stores/Stella-Ray. I will have it linked below. But yeah, I just decided to, come up with a few cute designs for the OGs. And it's been a while since I've had merch. Y'all know me and Sonia had our little clothing line together with the classic Health is Wealth. But I just feel like that was like our clothing line. That wasn't like Stella Ray merch. I haven't had that since like probably 2016, like beginning of 2016, 2015. So I'm really excited. So there's 3 designs. So let me just show y'all. If you're listening to this, just check out the store down below, but I will try to describe it as best I can. So all of these are available in hoodies, t-shirts, and long sleeve t-shirts. I know some of y'all love a crew neck, but I did not love the crew necks that this platform had available. They just weren't really that cute to me. So I just opted for the long sleeve tee. So first we have this Stella Ray design, which I'm obsessed with this. It has my face on it, and it's kind of giving me, that like bootleg rap shirt vibe, but it's me. So I can't wait to wear this. There's flames on it. It's kind of like this diamond font. I just think this is bomb. I'm like, it's just like so funny to me. But this is like for if you're a fan of me, I love this. Like, I just love the colors. It's like pink. I just think that's so cute. So we have that, which is very bold, and like you're like a fan of me. That's like the Stella Ray design. And then we have 2 more just very low-key designs. It's not my face on them. The first one I actually wore in an Instagram live, and it was also in a vlog already, but it's just this wholesome tee. So I got gray, but we have a few different colors available. It says wholesome on the front, and then on the back it says wholesome with this lavender that I actually have tattooed. That's my tattoo on my ear, like behind my ear. And then it says since 1998, which is the year that I was born. I was gonna do, I don't know, because I started the Stella Ray channel in 2013, but I've been on YouTube longer than that. But it's like, what year do I put? So I was like, let me just do 98, because that looks like it's been around longer anyway, so whatever. But this is available. Let me see. I thought this was available in tote bag as well. We can add that. But it's also available in baby onesies. And again, hoodies, long sleeve tees, and the t-shirt. So we got that. And then the last one was actually the original wholesome design. And I was like, it's honestly a little too plain for me. But I decided might as well keep it up. It doesn't hurt to just keep it up, because they're printed as they're ordered. So it's not like it's going to be a waste. But then this one is in a different font, and it just says wholesome on the front left, breast pocket area. And it's like more of a script font. It's not really like that varsity, like school font. So that's just like really, really basic and plain. But yeah, y'all know I love loungewear. I pretty much live in oversized tees and hoodies, and like I love a long sleeve tee. So I just wanted to do something that was like very simple and comfy and like stuff that I would wear. I did look into doing joggers, but they had one jogger option that you could design on, and it was not cute, y'all. I would not have liked it. I would not have worn it, so I didn't want to like put anyone else through that. But maybe in the future. But this is just very like chill. Which one do I want to wear? I kind of feel the t-shirt right now. But yeah, so I'm so excited. So check it out. It's priced, I feel like, just at normal merch prices. Obviously tried to make it as fair as I could, where I would still get somewhat of a profit. But yeah, I just love, a basic, I just love an oversized tee. So I got an extra large in this shirt, and then in the long sleeve I got a large, and then in the hoodie I got just a large. So large, extra large. Y'all know I like that oversized fit, just so y'all know. So yeah, let me know if y'all order anything, and I can't wait to see y'all wear it. I feel like especially the wholesome design, like the one with the lavender on it. That just really means, this one probably means the most to me, even though there's one with my literal face on it. I mean, I love that too. Like, it's just a different vibe, you know? I love this. It's very like 2000s to me, like the pictures that I chose. But yeah, so fun. This is just kind of something that I decided to do for fun. So wholesome gang. Let me know if you get anything. And the shipping was pretty fast. Hopefully I'll be able to add these to like the bottom of my YouTube videos. So if you're on YouTube right now, they should be below. Maybe not on this channel though, maybe just the Stella Ray channel. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to figure it out. But I've never had like a merch shelf before, so we're going to try to implement that. So super exciting. And thanks for all the support. You know, these past few weeks I've been mentioning it here and there, and people have said that they're excited. So that means a lot to me. So I hope y'all fuck with it. And again, t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve tees, onesies. There's actually a sticker of the Stella Ray design if you want something a little more low key, but still like the vibe. So yeah, we got it all. So links down below. Check me out. So I wanted to talk about a breakthrough that I had over this past weekend. And I wanted to see if any of you guys related. Y'all know I've talked a lot about boundaries, setting boundaries, sticking up for yourself, and how that's always kind of been hard for me. I feel like it's hard for a lot of people, and it's just like something we don't really ever talk about. But then it's like I'll see someone post like something kind of about it, like maybe like a relatable tweet that's kind of about it. And I'm like, oh my God, they probably experience this too. I feel like women especially are probably more likely to experience this just because we are taught usually that, you know, we got to put everyone else's needs before our own. We have to be the peacemakers. We don't want to be seen as a bitch or high maintenance or whatever. So it can be really hard and feel very uncomfortable to set boundaries and to say no and to like stick up for yourself when necessary. So on Instagram, my explore page is like a lot of little like, what are they called? You know, just the words. What is it called? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's like, I follow a lot of therapists on Instagram. And so my whole explore page will just be like, oh, this looks like this. And then they like list whatever. I don't know. Gaslighting looks like this. And they'll list the things. Love it. Here for it. Love getting a tidbit. And I found one. And apparently I did not like it or save it because I cannot find it. But it was something along the lines of healing can look like this. Or growth can look like this. And it was a list of like all the quote unquote ugly parts of like gaining self-awareness or growing as a person, you know, things like losing friends, you know, feeling isolated because it's like, oh, you've kind of moved on from this friend group, or, you know, being called a bitch because you finally stand up to someone and say no. You know, just a lot of things kind of in that vibe where it's like, you know that you're doing the right thing for yourself and you're honoring yourself, but it can be so hard and uncomfortable in the moment because you're like, damn, I feel like I'm being mean. People aren't used to seeing me like this. No, there's a fucking airplane. And I think this was really important. I wish I saved it. But I think it's really important to go over that because I feel like, you know, a lot of us are very interested in self-growth and self-awareness and like, you know, even if you're not going to therapy, you're like maybe interested in learning about what, you know, how to heal trauma or like, I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do yourself to like just be aware of certain stuff and like catch yourself. I don't know. Not saying it's the same thing as like going to a professional, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of us just want to gain more self-awareness and be better. Or should we say be more of ourselves? Take away the layers. But I feel like a lot of the time it's like almost portrayed as like, oh, your life is going to be so good and like you're going to be so much happier after realizing these things or implementing these new systems into your life of like setting boundaries and honoring yourself and whatever. And while I think long-term, yes, short-term, you know, you can face a lot of like discomfort and like ew and like just feeling like awkward and like bad and like, I don't know, maybe a lot of past stuff can come up. But then again, it's like, okay, if you've always said yes to someone and you're like, no, I need to take a stance and like say no, they're going to judge you. They're going to like be mean to you. They're going to whatever, you know? So I really appreciated this post and like highlighting those things, because it's like, yeah, sometimes you like lose a bunch of friends and you're like, damn, did I do something wrong? Like, what's my problem? But it's really like, I mean, sometimes it depends obviously, but sometimes on this topic, at least, it can be just like you have grown while they haven't grown in that same direction. So you're just no longer compatible as friends. So it kind of made me reflect on like, I don't know, I was just like thinking about my life. It wasn't even like while I was reading this, I wasn't even thinking about this post in mind. So it must have been in my subconscious somewhere, but I was just thinking like, damn, you know, people always describe me as like chill, and like anyone who's ever known me or been my friend always describes me as like really laid back, chill, relaxed, like whatever. And while I feel like that can be a strength, and I really do pride myself on like, I don't know, being understanding and like not taking things too personally, like, you know, really understanding that, you know, someone acting however they act is like them in their own life. And like, I don't know, I feel like I've just always had a pretty good sense of like awareness in that way. I was just thinking about it, and I was like, damn, like I don't find myself relaxed like ever. Like I can think of times literally going back to elementary school where I was like, just like, oh my God, like bothered, just like stressed out. And like, I don't know, I've always been like shy, and I just feel like awkward a lot of the time, and just like uncomfortable in like certain social situations, and just like, ugh. And again, like the whole thing with like saying no or like standing up for yourself, like that's always been like so hard for me in the past. So I was like, damn, like, and then it just clicked, and I was like, oh my God, like it makes sense, because if I am feeling like shy or like awkward, or like, oh, I don't want to say no to someone, so I'm always saying yes to someone to avoid the confrontation or like the possible conflict of saying no, obviously that person's going to describe me as like really relaxed and laid back, and like I don't give a fuck because I'm always saying yes to them. So it's like, oh, in their mind it's like, oh, I could like ask her to do whatever, and it's like she doesn't care. But in reality, it's like that wasn't really my truth at that time, like whatever circumstance it was. So I just kind of had this moment where I was like, I feel like since really prioritizing, you know, prioritizing my boundaries and like myself, it really comes down to like prioritizing yourself and your own needs over others, emotional needs, physical needs, whatever, that, you know, I have realized I want to put that right now is a more important value to me than being perceived as relaxed or nice or laid back. I would rather be respected. I would rather have people know what I'm okay with and what I'm not. And I would rather feel comfortable saying, no, I'm not okay with that. I can't do that for you. I can't be there. I don't want to do that. Than say yes at my own expense, just to be perceived as like chill. And it also kind of goes into like the whole chill girl thing. Like, oh, I'm like when it comes to relationships, and that's even a more specific thing. But you know, it's like, oh no, I don't want to like ask him what are we, because I just want to be chill. You know, I'm not like other girls. Like I'm just like the cool girl. I'm just like the chill girl. Like I just don't care. I just don't get attached. And it's like, do you actually feel that way? Or are you just saying that to be perceived a certain way because you're scared of being vulnerable with how you actually feel? So that was kind of like a mind-blowing moment for me. And I have to say that I'm really proud of myself, because I feel like I've come such a long way. But then also with that, going back to the Instagram post I saw, I have definitely lost a lot of friends and like outgrown a lot of friendships, you know, even if we didn't necessarily have a beef, because I've definitely had beef with people too. Don't get me wrong. And that doesn't go like, it's like I've had friends that have never been in like a video, you know, like this goes beyond like, are you still friends with that person? Like this is just like my personal life, you know, just to put that out there. But, you know, I've definitely outgrown friendships, as well as like definitely had conflicts with people, because it's like I finally started, you know, saying no to them or sticking up for myself when I hadn't before. So the whole friendship had been based on like me bending over backwards for them, and they weren't really doing anything for me. Not necessarily anything, but it's like they weren't really respecting me in return or doing the same for me. So they get bothered once you finally do start saying no or whatever. Standing up for yourself, saying how you actually feel. You can't actually be there for them all the time. Sorry, I have my own life. And I just feel like a real friendship, you know, you should be able to feel comfortable, and you should be able to just, period, you know, say no to someone, and you should have enough trust and mutual respect and understanding that like you both are okay with that. And it's like, okay, yeah, I know you have your own life. You're your own person. Your world doesn't revolve around mine. We're two separate individuals, and we like choose to come together and be friends or be in a relationship or whatever. So yeah. And also I feel like I've just dealt with like way less bullshit, like when it comes to dating and guys. Yeah, I actually just had an experience recently where this guy was like, oh, I was thinking I could come over, and like it was a first date situation. He was like, oh, can I just like come over and we can watch a movie? Bitch, first of all, come over to my house. Like, regardless of any like, that's not safe, like I don't know you, you're a stranger. It's just like, I don't want that as a first date, even if you're completely fine and like cool. Like I'm not comfortable with that. So I feel like maybe in the past, if I was a little younger, you know, I would be like, fuck, I don't want to say like, no, I don't want to be rude. I don't want him to think I'm like high maintenance or like stuck up. So I would be like, oh, I'm actually busy that day. Or like, you know, just make some kind of excuse instead of just being straightforward and saying I'm not okay with that. So right away I was like, I'm not really, and what did I say? I worded it so good because I feel like, you know, when I first started trying to like, you know, be bold in this sense, sometimes the messages can come off as like very like I'm writing a business email, you know. So I feel like I've had to kind of try and find the balance of like still keeping my own natural tone but like remaining firm in my boundary, you know what I mean? And it's so funny because I saw someone tweet about this, like, oh, girls will like be mad at you and start, you know, acting like they're texting a like coworker or something, like, are you available to speak at this time, you know? So I forget like how I worded it, but I was basically like, if you want to go out somewhere, if you want to go eat or get a drink or something, I'm cool with that, but I don't let anyone come over. I don't go to anyone's house on the first link. Like, that's not me. And if you're not interested in that, that's cool, but just so you know. It was something like that. And I was like so proud of myself because I just did that, like, no hesitation. And I just know that in the past that would have been so hard for me. And it's like not, it's like it wasn't even about the tea of like this guy has the audacity to ask to come over. Like, it was like, I am so proud of myself for sticking up for myself in this moment. And that's the thing, like the more you practice it, the easier it gets because you have the past experience and knowledge of like the feeling that you have after it. Like you just feel so good about yourself and like strong in yourself and like you have more trust in yourself versus if you feel uncomfortable, so you like, no, we're just going to fall back on old habits, old patterns. It's like, damn, you just feel disappointed in yourself after, and you're like, fuck, I wish I handled that better. And that's like completely fine and normal. It's part of the process and the growing process. But once you can start practicing and like feeling that good feeling after, it's like kind of addicting. Like I kind of love saying no. And even just little things, like when I went to go get my hair cut, she did my part like a little off center because I have like a middle part, and right away I was like, I think my part should be a little more like over here. And I had like a flashback to getting my hair done, you know, when I was in high school or whatever. And like, if that had happened, it would have taken me like a few minutes to muster up the courage to be like, no, it's actually like, it should be here. Can anyone relate? Like, is this hard for anyone else? Because it's just like, fuck. And sometimes even just like with little stuff like that, it's like, this shouldn't even be a big deal, but it just feels like, oh my God, what if they challenge me? Like, what if they, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm like stepping into my power. And I feel like this is something I kind of talk about a lot. But number one, it is always relevant. And I feel like it's always like, it's like, will there ever be a point where I'm completely like, never even think about this again because I'm just living it? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's something I have to actively like work on. And like I said with these examples, a few of them I just like did it without thinking. And that like my natural response was one of like sticking up for myself and like putting myself first. But it's like it's taken so much work to get there, you know? So bitch, fuck. So let me know if you relate. And I think the moral of the story is say no more, but like practice saying no. So when it does come, when you do have like small opportunities, practice like saying what you want, standing up for yourself, saying no, whatever, saying no, my part is actually So then when it comes to bigger things, like a guy asks to borrow money from you, someone asks to come over and you're like not okay with it. Someone invites you to a COVID infested party. You can say no and like be confident in your decision and like know that you are doing the right thing at the end of the day. Because when someone's giving you like a bad reaction to your face, like it can be very intimidating, and it's definitely easy to like question yourself and like, am I being rude? Like, am I making the right decision? Is this like socially acceptable? But when you have that foundation of like, no, I know what I want for myself and what my values are and whatever, like it's so much easier to be like, to be confident in what you want and what you feel. So anyway, period. We love that. So y'all remember the Attached book? So I did order a new book for March. It hasn't gotten here yet though. So a little annoying. But I can't wait to talk about it because it's very different than this book and The Way of Zen. So I'm excited. But on kind of the same note as this book Attached, which if you haven't read yet, bitch, you need to read this. Like, will change your life. I'm still fucking talking about it. That's how much it meant to me. Kind of had like a new realization regarding this. My camera's just... Okay, well, we're not gonna have the video anymore. It's important to be able to recognize when you are playing yourself. Let me explain. So if you are telling... If you're talking to someone and you are, telling your besties, your friends about this guy, and you find yourself getting embarrassed about it, or like making excuses for him to your friends, like, oh, he doesn't want to be in a relationship, but that's because I think he was hurt, or I think he's going through a lot, or I think whatever. Take a step back and be honest with yourself and really ask yourself, is that true? Because I feel like so often, bitch, I've done it myself. We like a guy and, we're hanging out. It's cool. As soon as we bring up some kind of, basically, like, I want to be in a committed relationship, or I want to be closer to you, or I want to be exclusive, they, like, take a step back, and they're like, no. That is your answer. Like, and basically what this book helped me realize is that it's not about trying to change those guys or wait around for them, because they've already shown you who they are. I feel like a reasonable, secure person... when hanging out with someone for weeks on end, it's like, obviously you like that person, you fuck with that person to some degree. So it's not about, a reasonable, secure person would be like, okay, yeah, like it only makes sense that we take this to the next level, whatever that means, only see each other, we have the boyfriend, girlfriend label, whatever. And I don't know, I feel like I have had so many experiences, like, especially when I was younger, especially, like, in high school, and, like, yeah, oh my God. But honestly, up, like, my adult years as well. But just, like, where it's like, oh, you don't know, and just, like, oh my God, like, I just, like, we hang out, but I don't know, like, how does he actually feel? Dude, like, if you're I don't know. It's just like if you're staying, if a guy pulls back, you know, like, oh no, I'm not ready for that, then be like, all you have to do is be like, okay, bet, and stop talking to him. And then it's like, that's it. I don't, like, just don't wait around, I guess, is my point. Like, don't stick around. Do not go back. Don't reach out. Like, just don't, because he's already shown you, no, I have an avoidant attachment style, or no, I'm not. If they say they're not ready for that, believe them and leave them alone, basically, is what it comes down to. Because I just feel like, I don't know, it's just like, I would so much rather be alone and be confident in that and have the opportunity to meet someone who is secure and who actually is compatible and has the same, you know, wants the same thing that I do, rather than like be waiting around for someone who's like, oh, I don't know. A grown-ass man, oh, I don't know, he was hurt before. Like, okay, then leave him alone so he can fucking go to therapy. Like, I don't know. I'd be feeling so bad hearing girls' stories, like, because it's like I've been there and I know how that feels, you know, like, oh, you know, we've been talking for like actually 2 years, but you know, he's just not ready. It's like, stop waiting around. Like, leave him. You'll be fine. You'll actually be better off. Do you want me to bring out the studies? I've said it before, I'll say it again. You just don't want to be the girl that he refers to as, you know, the one who's just always there. Dude, if a guy described me as a ride or die, I think I would like end it all. Dude, or like I was fucking, I mean, this is like kind of, it's like the same subject, but like a different subject. But y'all know, love a Jersey Shore. I'm watching Jersey Shore Family Vacation, and just like hearing how Mike describes at this point in the show, it's like his fiance as like, oh, she's always been there for me. She's always held it down. It's like, I just couldn't help but think, you know, what have you done for her? Because the whole show, they're just talking about how she is like an angel in his life. She like saved him. If you don't know, basically, it's like he was addicted to drugs, and then he like had to go to prison for tax evasion and like all this stuff, but like she is sticking by his side. She still wants to marry him. She's been there through it all, and she's remained there with him by his side. And it's just kind of like, what is she really gaining? And like, not so much her individually as just like in general, like women who are described as ride or dies, or like, you know, oh, she's like, she's so real. She's like always been there for me. It's like, I never really hear what the guy has done for her. So it's like, you know, you want the emotional support and labor, but you're not really giving anything in exchange. And then when guys are confused at why we don't want to go half on dates, they're like, it's just like, you're not getting it. So as always, I talk about all these things not to be like, oh, fuck men, even though I definitely feel like that sometimes, but I just feel like it's like you need to evaluate everything that goes into this, and like the systems and like the traditions and like the rules, you know, that society has presented to us. You need to take a step back and like look at all of them and ask yourself, like, is this actually something that's important to me and that I value? Like, do I value putting a man's life before my own? Couldn't be me. Okay. But like, as always, love over fear. Like, I want to be with someone because I want to be with them, not because I have a fear of being alone, or like a fear of not getting married, or a fear of like, oh, I'm past my prime, no guy's gonna want me. Like, bitch, it actually sounds great to walk down the street and not be harassed, you know? Like, I got a comment the other day, or maybe I saw it. I think I got it, but it was like, oh, you talk all this stuff about being independent and, you know, I don't know what they were talking about. Basically, like, not needing a man. And then they were like, oh, but you're going to regret it when you're old and your looks have faded and nobody wants you. And it's like, that's actually kind of the point. Like, it's not like, it's like I'm, like, That sounds great, okay? That sounds great. I don't need to be harassed at every waking moment, you know? Which, not that I literally am. But you know what I mean? Like, if y'all have watched Fleabag, I think it's season 1. But she's like helping her sister at her sister's business's like women's conference. And then the lady who wins like business woman of the year or whatever, she like chats with her and she has this speech about like, I guess like almost like womanhood and, you know, after menopause, it's like this thing. What was the famous quote though? It was like, oh, like we as women have like so much going on inside of us all the time, and like our, you know, menstrual cycle, and like we have cramps, and like men don't experience that, so they have to go out into the world and like create wars and like fight with each other. But, you know, then she said something about, you know, after menopause, then it's like almost this relief because you don't have to deal with any of that shit anymore, and you're just like living truly for yourself. And that's another thing, you know, I feel like we're very pressured, you know, that this is our prime. Oh, don't waste your prime. You need to get married and have kids while it's your prime. And it's like, what? So we're just worthless after a certain age? Like we're not of value to anyone, to society, to even ourselves? Like, how about we promote, you know, you can be, first of all, popping at any age, but also you can like do whatever you want. Like, and also all this bullshit about like, oh, after 30, it's just downhill. Like, most women look better as they age, first of all. And I've heard everyone in their 30s, every woman over 30 say, you know, basically this is like my 20s, but with more money and more life experience and knowledge. So I'm making better decisions and it's more poppin'. Like, I'm just so sick of this narrative that like, oh, women are meant to look like they are 21 their whole lives. And if you don't, you are worthless and no one's going to want you. And that is the worst thing, is being alone. No one's going to you won't have the approval of a man. Sounds great to me. But also it kind of seems like it doesn't end because it's just like once you realize the scams, you can go against the scams. And it's just yeah, I just feel bad when I see people still so into the whole just classics. Like, oh my God, are you not embarrassed? But, you know, you cannot wake up the sleeping dog and expect them to not be confused when you wake them up. You know, you got to let them wake up on their own so they're not confused when they wake up. So just a few thoughts. At the end of the day, know your fucking worth. And what that actually literally means is that if you are feeling that like confused feeling when you like a boy and you don't know if he likes you back, just drop him. I swear there's more. There's plenty more. There's always more of them. Like, you do not need to put up with this bullshit. Oh my God. Like, literally remove all contact, focus on getting over him, and then you will, you'll be free. Oh my God. I just hate that feeling. Like, oh my God, I don't know. And yeah, I, for one, am excited. Wow, I was going to say I'm excited to get older, but this topic really meshed well with the International Women's Day theme. So you know what? Fuck society. Let's really live for ourselves, even if it makes us uncomfortable in the moment sometimes, and know our worth, and don't put up with bullshit. And if a guy is on some bullshit, we're going to block them. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know your thoughts, as always, in a comment below, or DM me or tweet me. And don't forget to post a little boomerang or screenshot of you listening, because I love to see it. Even if you've never done it before, bitch, make this your first time. Let me know what you want me to talk about in next week's episode, and I will see you guys then. Bye, everyone.